So one evening, I'm sat in my flat, and I lived with one other person at the time. I'm reading a book, it's all fine, and my flatmate appears in the corner of my eye. He walks past the doorway. I don't really acknowledge him too much. I say hi, no big deal. He goes off, and then I carry on reading, and my phone rings. Sat on the coffee table. I pick it up, and it's my flatmate. He's ringing me, and I answer, and I'm like, why are you calling me? I just saw you. And he says, oh, that's, I'm not in the house. What are you talking about? I'm just letting you know that I'm not coming back tonight. I'll be back tomorrow. And I was instantly, completely freaked out. It's kind of freaked me out for a long time, and when I was trying to think of a nice idea for a short film that was simple and I could achieve, that sprang to mind. So I wrote it, kept it as short as possible, looked at the locations I could use, and crafted this story that I thought would be as scary as possible, and took my little experience and then went with it and tried to create something that was even worse and even more horrifying. A story like this, the location is pretty much a character. It needs to be, think of like the Bates Motel in Psycho, and it can't just be any old random place. And luckily, where I was living at the time was a flat which I used to get quite scared in anyway. When I came in and the lights were all out, the layout of there was a long staircase and 2 corridors. So I thought, right, that's perfect. I'll shoot it in here. I'll use this, and I'll craft the story. I'll mold the story around the flat. The approach to the lighting was going to be very important. I didn't want to just light this like it was just something that was quite standard, and I didn't just want to sort of just expose it. I wanted to really mould the light around the character. I bumped into an old friend of mine, Alain Philippe Cross, at the London Film Festival, and I told him about this project, and I pretty much explained it and said it was going for this really noir lighting. And he jumped at the idea, and we had a series of meetings and talked about it, and he came up with a lot of fantastic ideas of how to use the frame and the light to help the effect of basically trying to do something that was very scary. A lot of it was framed with negative framing, so we leave spaces around our character, so we are creating the impression that something could be in the gaps. So the project is self-funded. We had no real money behind it, but I wanted to make something which, when you watched it, you didn't see areas that had been skimped on. I wanted something that appeared like a full production and had that real kind of cinematic quality to it. Through contacts, through favours, through asking people very nicely, I had a full crew, and it was really an exercise in approaching people, telling them the idea and getting them to give up their weekends, their days off, because it was an idea that they wanted to get involved with. I think we've achieved a look and a feel and a sound that really goes beyond its budget and has that real sort of cinematic quality to it.